Right. So, male urinogenital system. So, why urinogenital? Why not excretory and genital system or reproductive system? So, because in Scoliodon or in elasmobranchi fishes, the reproductive system and excretory system, they are almost uh, united. Okay, they jointly opened outside by a common aperture called cloaca. Okay, so this system is naturally it is called as urinogenital system. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about male urinogenital system. Okay, so here in freshwater fishes, there are no copulatory organs in the males, whereas in elasmobranchi fishes or cartilaginous fishes or in Scoliodon, there is a clear sexual dimorphism. That means we can identify the male and female by their external features. So the male contains one pair of claspers. Okay, so which are copulatory organs. With them, we can identify the male and female animals. Anyway, so this is male reproductive system or male urinogenital system. So first of all, let's see about the excretory organs. So it includes a pair of long, flat, ribbon-like kidneys. Okay, so the major part of excretory system is the one pair of very different kind of kidneys are seen in this fish. Okay, so they are attached to dorsal abdominal wall. And here this is interesting. The anterior part of kidney is non-excretory. It is non-excretory or it is related to reproduction. So called reproductive part. So you can also call it as the epididymis. I'll show the diagram. So here, this from here to almost here, so they are long ribbon-like kidneys, and this is anterior part of the kidney. This one is anterior part of the kidney. So which is simply you can call it as epididymis. Okay, or non-reproductive part of the kidney. Okay, so and this one is the reproductive part or the kidney, which contains many uriniferous tubules. Okay, so the uriniferous tubules are uriniferous tubule are nephrons. So they are present. They are not well developed, but they do contain so these convoluted, what we call the uh, tubules, and they do contain the Bowman's capsule. And the tubule of the kidney, it can absorb urea. There is a separate segment that can absorb the urea. Uh, here, because the scoliodon, it stores urea in their body tissues for the osmoregulation. Anyway, the collecting ducts of all the nephrons, they are united to form a longitudinal, ureter. This one. Okay. So these are the ureters. So these are the ureters. The ureters, they are long and they move downward. Okay, they open into a urinary sinus. Where it is urinary sinus. Yeah. So this is called urogenital sinus. They open into urinogenital sinus. These are opened into this, the urinogenital sinus. Okay. So by a tip called urinogenital papillae. Okay, which contains a small opening. So through which it opens into this part, cloaca. Okay, so the urinogenital papillae open into cloaca. Okay, so that is about the you know the excretory part. Excretory part includes long ribbon-like kidneys. The anterior part of the kidney is called as non-excretory part. You can also call it as the epididymis. Okay, so the kidneys contains, as usual, the uriniferous tubules or nephrons. Okay, see these nephrons contain Bowman capsule, and there is a segment in those tubules which can absorb the urea. Okay, so the collecting ducts of all the nephrons, they are opened into each side a ureter. So both the ureters, they move downward and they open into a urinogenital sinus that is opened into cloaca by a urinogenital papillae. Okay, so that is about the excretory system. And then, so reproductive organs. So reproductive organs includes one pair of large testes, just like kidneys. So one pair of large testes are present uh, as a part of reproductive organs. So here, what you are watching, just like some kind of, banana-like structures. So these are the actually the testes, very elongated structures. So this one is called, a peritoneal, double membranous peritoneal membrane. Okay, so that is called mesorchium. This is important. This is important. Okay, it was asked, of course, not of fish, but also, but in the frog. Okay, in most of the vertebrates, it is called as mesorchium. So that fixes the testis in a fixed position, and it is attached to dorsal abdominal wall. So that is mesorchium. See, it is attached to mid-dorsal body wall by a double-fold peritoneum called mesorchium. Their posterior end is attached to cecal or rectal gland. But if the posterior end అనేది, so attached to cecal or rectal gland. So this is testis. Okay, so this is rectal gland. Okay, so this is non-glandular fibrous tissue that attaches these testes to this single rectal gland. Okay, these are different. Okay, so anyway, so that is about the testes, and these testes, they produce many convoluted structures. They are called, vasa efferentia. Vasa efferentia. This E part of it. So vasa efferentia, here it is started, and they join the anterior part of the kidney, and they are folded on the surface of the kidney. They entangle the kidney. Okay, and posteriorly, they are broadened. They are turned out into a broad duct called Wolffian duct. గుర్తుంచుకోండి, male genital duct is Wolffian duct. Female genital duct is Mullerian duct. Okay, అది గుర్తుంచుకోవాలి. So in fishes, it is famously known as Wolffian duct or vas deferens, a broader duct. So it secretes a kind of, nourishing fluid for the developing spermatozoa. So after the vas difference, okay, so the convoluted tubule or the vas, uh, difference, okay, so it is continued like many coiled areas, and its posterior part is, broader. Okay, its posterior part is broader. So that part is known as seminal vesicle that stores temporarily the spermatozoa. And both the seminal vesicles of both sides, so they are opened separately into this urinogenital sac or sinus. Okay, so with the help of urogenital papillae, that opens into this cloaca. Okay, so that is about the, and one pair of sperm sacs are present on either side of the, the seminal vesicle. Okay, so this, yeah, the posterior part of this, sorry, on either side of the seminal vesicle, one pair of sperm sac is also present. That also stores the spermatozoa. Right. So here, to these two lateral sperm sacs are present. One pair of claspers, one pair of claspers, uh, and a siphon. Okay. These are the accessory reproductive organs of this, scleroderm. So, a siphon and a pair of claspers are present. What are claspers? The claspers are actually these, the copulatory organs. They are formed from the median part of the pelvic fin. Okay, so median part of the pelvic fin, it is modified into a pair of clasper, which are copulatory organs, and then the claspers outside. Claspers are present on pelvic fins. They help in transfer of spermatozoa. Okay, so into female, each clasper contains an apopyle, an opening at anterior, and a posterior hypophile opening is also present. So here we are able to see only a pair of hypophiles. So here inside the, so these, claspers, there are connection between the cloaca or urinary papillae, okay, and these claspers. So from these, the seminal vesicle. Okay, so the stored sperms, they come into this, urinogenital sinus, and they also during the copulation they enter into these, claspers. Okay, and the sperms are, so, released efficiently. Okay, with the help of the, siphon. So anyway, so these are the, you know hypophile and apophile. So each class contains an apophile opening and a posterior hypophile opening. బయట కనబడేటువంటి hypophile. Siphon. Siphon is a muscular sac present beneath skin at posterior pelvic region. And posterior pelvic region లో స్కిన్ కింద ఒక ఛానల్ లాంటి స్ట్రక్చర్ ఉంటుంది, దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ సైఫన్, దట్ ఈస్ కనెక్టెడ్ టు అపోఫైల్ ఆఫ్ ది క్లాస్పర్, విచ్ ఈస్ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్ ఏ ఛానల్. సో ఫ్రమ్ సైఫన్ అనేటువంటి ఒక ఛానల్ ద్వారా సీ వాటర్ అనేది, సో ఇట్ డ్రాస్, సైఫన్ డ్రాస్ సీ వాటర్. సో ద సీ వాటర్ also forcefully enter the, you know the copulatory organs during the copulation. సో ఈ కనెక్షన్ అనేది ఆ సైఫన్ యొక్క కనెక్షన్. సో whenever the copulation occurs, the from the siphon the water enters into these claspers with including the spermatozoa. So with the action of the seawater force, okay, the sperms are released very with some kind of velocity or efficiently. Okay. Right. Right. Yeah. So during the copulation, so from these, the claspers, the stored spermatozoa from here and here, so they reach and they are released into the female body through these one pair of claspers. So that is about the urinogenital system. And female reproductive system, it also known as female urinogenital system. So here also same, I will explain the diagram. See, so this is one pair of kidneys which are very very longer. Okay, from the mid abdominal region to posterior abdominal region. So a pair of kidneys are present, and their anterior part of the kidneys, they are non-functional. They are highly reduced, but they do not, they are not associated with the reproductive organs. Just its anterior part is tapering, non-functional, in by means of excretion. Excretion టైంలో ఈ యాంటీరియర్ పాయింటెడ్ పార్ట్ ఎలాంటి డ్యూటీ చేయదు. సో హియర్ ఆల్సో వన్ పేర్ ఆఫ్ ureters are found by the connecting ducts of all the nephrons. Okay, so both the ureters, they are joined at posterior region. Okay, so which is known as common ureter. The common ureter opens into the cloaca, okay, by urinary papillae. Okay, so that is about the you know the kidneys. Okay, so then reproductive part. Reproductive part includes one pair of ovary. Okay, one pair of ovary. They are attached to mid dorsal body wall by a single fold, peritoneal membrane that is called as mesovarium. Okay, the mesovarium attaches, అదేమో మెజార్కియం, ఇదేమో మిజోవేరియం. ఇవి రెండు గుర్తుంచుకోవాలి. సో ద పెరిటోనియల్ membrane that attaches the the testis to the dorsal body wall is mesorchium. This is mesovarium. Okay, so if you observe the ovary, it contains peripherally many ball-like appearances. Okay, they are nothing but the follicles which contain the developing ovum. Okay, so the ovary are also, they are attached to one pair of epigonal organs. So they are posteriorly attached to rectal gland. Okay, and their function is not clear. The function of epigonal organs are not clear, but they may be nourish the developing what we call the ovum. Okay, so these are the epigonal organs, so their function is not prominent. Okay, then one pair of oviducts are present, almost from the esophagus region to the cloaca region. So that much long oviducts are present. Okay, the anterior part of the oviduct, so both the oviducts, so that is also almost fused. but a vertical slit is present that is called oviducal funnel or ostium. So whenever the ovary is matured, okay, it releases one or two ovum, okay, into surroundings or in the body cavity. So those ovum actually they are collected by this ostium or this female gonoduct. Okay, so this female gonoduct, okay, uh, you know, it is a very long tube-like structure. Its middle part is called as shell gland. Okay, its middle part is called shell gland. So that secretes a shell-related membrane, thin shell-related membrane surrounding the eggs. And you remember the you know the oviduct is generally called as Mullerian duct after the scientist who identified it, Muller. Okay, so these are known as Muller's ducts. So the middle part of Muller's duct is little bit bulged. Okay, so that is called shell gland that secretes a kind of small, a kind of thin membrane surrounding the eggs. Actually, the fertilization takes place between the oviducal funnel. This is oviducal funnel or ostium, and this is shell gland. So the fertilization takes place here in this place. So in human being, fallopian tube is the site of fertilization. Here the place where the shell gland and the ostium, between the shell gland and ostium, right? So the posterior part of the the ovid duct becomes very broader, that is called uterus. Okay, so both the uteri they are uh, joined with united to form a common uterus which opens into outside by vagina. Vagina ultimately opens into this what we call cloaca. Okay, so here one pair of rectal gland, one pair of epigonal organs are present. Their function is unknown, not well studied. Okay, so this is about the today's. So one pair of kidneys are present in the female reproductive system. Anterior non-excretory part with tapering end. Nephrons of kidney open into ureter. Both ureters are joined posteriorly and open into a large median urinary sinus. So it opens into cloaca by urinary papilla. Okay, so urinary papilla ద్వారా, so cloaca loki, so the ureter is opened. And then we have seen the diagram. So reproductive part, so includes one pair of ovaries. So these are the one pair of ovaries. Uh, and so it has an anterior non-excretory part with tapering end. So anterior part is very, very reduced. Okay, it's tapering. So we have seen it is on tapering end ఉంటుంది. అయిపోయింది. సరే మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి. Yeah, so this anterior part is very, very less developed. Its anterior part is tapering edge, okay, which is non-excretory part, but it doesn't contain any relation with the the reproduction. Okay, so here all the uniferous tubules they are joined to form a ureter. Both ureters are joined by a common ureter that opens into the cloaca with the help of urinary papillae. Okay, one so that is about the uh, kidneys, and then one pair of ovaries are present. They are attached to mid-dorsal wall with the help of a membrane called mesovarium, and also one pair of epigonal organs. They keep ovaries in a constant place, and they are attached posteriorly to the rectal gland. These two, their function is not understood yet, are not you know uh, discovered yet. Okay, so then in the ovaries, developing follicles are present. So the follicles contains ovum. Right here, one pair of oviducts, okay, which are very very long. Okay, so they are opened into same the cloaca. Okay, their anterior part of the one pair of these you know oviducts. So their backside or dorsal side they are fused. The ventral side they may be appeared like a small vertical aperture called oviducal funnel. Oviducal funnel. So this oviducal funnel, each one moves forward. So where it is bulged in the middle of the this part oviduct, so that part is shell gland. So it secretes a membrane surrounding the uh,
జెర్సేపు ఉంటేనే జ్వరం పడుతుంది లేదంటే పట్టలేదు.
it secretes a membrane surrounding the eggs. So that is shell gland, and here the fertilization takes place between the shell gland and the oviducal funnel. Here the oviduct continues posteriorly as a broad structure on either side. So that is called uterus, where the developing embryo or developed or grown. Okay, so here these uteri open into a common uterus. Okay, so that ultimately opens into cloaca. Okay, so that is about the uh, male and female reproductive system of the scoliora. With this, we have completed the Pisces.